on 866-928-3310. Send you out a no obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Thursday, 26th day of October 2017. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Thursday's always a big day for us. Partners workshop tonight, people coming off the trial, becoming partners. But for conspiracy theorists around the world, today is a huge day. A day many have waited 25 years for. True story. Today's the deadline Congress set 25 years ago for the release of the remaining government files on the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy. President Trump, who can withhold some of the documents if he decides they compromise government sources or methods, teased the release yesterday. He tweeted, "The long-anticipated release of the hashtag JFK files will take place tomorrow." So interesting. Now, the CIA has been urging Trump to withhold some information, while scholars and conspiracy theorists, including longtime advisor Roger Stone, are pushing Trump to release every scrap of information. I think he will. I think he wants to know. I mean, after all, he's the president, right? Okay. Well, again, happy Thursday. Glad you've joined us. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're brand new, glad to have you with us. Pencil us in for the next decade. We're well into our second decade, so hope you'll stay with us. I have a chart up of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. It's been stuck like glue for quite a while to the 2560/61 weekly trading zone. It's become sort of a center of gravity with price oscillating above, below, above, below, above, and here we are opening the show. Not inside of a zone, but just above it. We're on the up oscillation at the moment. We've got to, if you'll notice, almost every one of those candles, except maybe the second one, is actually touching the zone. So till it breaks away by at least 2 points, just leave it alone. Okay? All right. If you can't see the chart, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You only have to register once per month. November 1st, you'll have to register again. Okay? You can also go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. L-I-V-E. Bookmark that page. You'll have one-click access every single day. Now, let's take a look at the numbers from around the world. These are cash markets. Okay? The Dow is currently up 77 points. NASDAQ is up 10. S&P 500 up 7.5, and the Russell 2000 up almost 6. No movers, no shakers, but everything is green. Crude oil up 23 cents, almost 0.5%, trading 52.41 last. Gold down $4.30, trading 1274.70 last. In the Asian markets today, mixed bag with the Nikkei closing up 32 points, Shanghai up 11 points, but the Hang Seng was down 100 points. And last but not least, Europe, color of the day there, definitely green. FTSE up 0.5%, 39 points. DAX up 179 points, that's over 1.25%. And the CAC kicked it with 80 points. That puts it up 1.5% for the session. So, green at home, green in Europe, and really the only red we had today was the Hang Seng and gold. So, there you have it. If Michael's ready, we'll have him pop in and give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room today. Are you ready, Michael?
I am ready.
So, can you imagine 25 years ago Congress saying, okay, we've got these certain documents, but we're not going to make them public for 25 years? Were they, most of the gentlemen in Congress are, of a certain age. So are you thinking that, well, in 25 years we'll all be dead, and so we won't have to deal with it?
I think that's probably what they were thinking. When my grandfather was in the OSS, and he couldn't talk about it until Reagan had released it in, I want to say 1987, had given them permission to talk about what they actually did in World War II. So,
When's the last time you whipped out your day planner and penciled something in for 25 years from now?
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I'll tell Siri, remind me in 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, 20 minutes from now I'll still be on the radio, but 2 hours from now, I guess I'll probably still be on the radio, but you get my point.
I do get your point.
2 days out, I'm not certain, and 25 years, I mean, that's just, where did they come up with that figure? Why did they think they needed 25 years? Did they want, I don't know. It's just an odd number. If anyone in the audience knows why they chose 25 years, inquiring minds really want to know. Okay? All right. It's all yours, Mike. I can see your chart.
Okay, excellent. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 26th day of October 2017. Let's see. Well, we'll start right up here. Okay. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at cfrn.net. And at the very top, it says sign up for the CFRN live training room, 100% free trial. User indicators on our strategy, click here. If you click there, you will be brought to this page. Okay. Where we ask for your email, your first name, and how you found us. You hit the submit button. And see that? See what it shows down there? You hit the submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on that link. Once you click on that link, then we know that you took the trial. Okay? If you don't click on the link, we don't know you took the trial. Now, recaps. If you are going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. All right. Today, in the live training room, we made 7 ticks in the euro, 1 tick in crude, and 16 ticks in gold to bring us up to 213.75 on the morning. Today it took 1 minute and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. And at that point, we're up $100 contract, and we took a total of 12 trade opportunities. So on the month now, 1,086. It's over 19 days. And on the year, 27,766. That's over 202 days, averaging 137 gross per day. Okay. Now, let's go over what we did and didn't do. If I'd have started just a few minutes earlier, I'd have nailed this nice long trade right here on gold. But I didn't. I started right at 9, and so we got our goal for the day. Our goal for the day right there. It was actually less than a minute. Yes. So we got 10 ticks there, and then the next one we got 2 ticks there. Then we had a break even there and 4 ticks there. Then it got really choppy in here. We didn't do anything in there for a while. During the break, there was really nothing here during the break. Okay. So I had drawn in this box because it was just choppy and I wanted to get outside that box. On the euro. Okay, here we go on the euro. Started out with 10 ticks here on the euro, then another 2 ticks. So we had 12 ticks on gold and 12 ticks on the euro at that point. Then we picked up another 9 ticks here to bring us to 21 ticks on the euro. And we missed a trade there, We stopped out there. We picked up, when we stopped out over here, we were at plus 13. We picked up 2 here to bring us to plus 15. Missed a trade there. And we stopped out there, pretty much to the tick. And that brought us down to plus 7. Let's see, during the break. There was a short right here during the break. This one right here. And that was all there was. Okay, so we ended with plus 7 over there. The pound, we just had 1 break even right there. And that really hadn't been moving at all today. I was surprised about that. All the stuff that was going on over there in Europe. And crude oil was pretty quiet today too. We had a momentum short. I'm sorry, that wasn't a momentum short. There was a short trade right there. That would have been a break even right here. You know, it drew back 7 ticks, and it would have been a break even right there. I missed a long right there, and I got 1 tick right there. Now during the break, actually, this was part of this right here. During the break, it was over here, and I wouldn't have done anything with that because the cycle's going down too steep. And the ES, well, what can we say about the ES? Started at 9 right over here. Went like this, went up above the zone, then back down below the zone, then back up above the zone, then back down below the zone. And now it's just a little bit above the zone. So there was really nothing we could do with the ES today. Okay, so I'll bring this back up. On the morning, 10/26/17, made 7 ticks in the euro, 1 tick in crude, 16 ticks in gold, bring us to 213.75. 213.75. Yeah, it's been a colorful month. But we have 3 days left in this month. 4 days left in this. No, 3 days left. 3 business days left in this month. To bring that number up even higher. Okay, I'd like to see it higher than last month. It would be great. But anyway, it took us 1 trade in 1 minute to get to the goal today, and we're at 1,086 now. On the year, we're at 27,766. That's over 202 days, averaging 137 per day. Okay. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage here at cfrn.net. Right here it says sign up for the CFRN live training room, 100% free trial. User indicators are no strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be sent to confirmation. Oops, no. Click there and you'll be sent to this page. In this page, we ask for your email, your first name, and how you found us. You hit the submit button, and then you'll be sent to confirmation link. Okay? Click on that link, and then you'll be sent all the information you need to get into our luxurious live training room. Okay. And with that, I have completed the recap, and we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
True story.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Okay, Bitcoin stormed to 59.55 as Bitcoin gold fizzles. It fizzled.
It fizzled?
Yeah.
I didn't know gold could fizzle.
No, Bitcoin gold.
Yeah,
It was a fork, and it didn't turn out as they had planned. So, let me get those charts. So did you tell the people on a trial that the Partners Workshop's tonight?
There is a Partners Workshop tonight. You must become a partner to get into that. Okay? If you don't know what it takes to become a partner, just send an email to support@cfrn.net. Put partner info in the header. Partner info in the header. Okay? That is all you need to do.
And the sooner you do it, the better the chance that we'll get you your credentials out and you'll actually get an invitation to the workshop tonight.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Now, I had something here. How did that happen? Let me see if I can fix it. So many have heard that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is just this generation's version of tulip mania. Bitcoin is not a bubble. Here's 5 reasons why Bitcoin price is nothing like tulip mania. Increasing adoption as legal tender, merchant acceptance, and an investment device for distressed economies are among the signs Bitcoin is only just starting out rather than peaking. In all fairness, the returns that Bitcoin and its digital peers in the crypto asset space are experiencing have not been seen since the day and age of the internet bubble in the late 90s. However, Bitcoin has very different fundamentals than early internet stocks and a much more promising growth trajectory. Now, this article was published by one of the writers over at NASDAQ.com. You may have heard of them. 2017 has seen major adoption drives for the virtual currency, both deliberate, such as in Japan, or accidental, such as in Venezuela and India. Countering no shortage of criticism from traditional financial circles that Bitcoin's price had grown too quickly and would inevitably crash, the NASDAQ website reiterated that in the long term, things were at just the beginning. 5 years ago, If you would have asked the average person on the street what Bitcoin is, they would have most likely given you a bewildered look. Today, most people have at least heard of it, and many even know that 1 Bitcoin is worth more than 1 ounce of gold. The newfound faith in Bitcoin and its maturing as a medium of exchange has become apparent in its increasing resilience. Mainstream forecasters now predict the next swing high at $6,800, despite the uncertainty surrounding a hard fork coming up in November. So, that's the deal. No tulip mania, at least from where we sit. What was the recap of the recap, Mike? Oh, he's on the phone already. Okay, alrighty. Let's see what else we got on our plate today. Trump continues to claim he got the soldier's name right in the condolence call. Man, and this is awesome. Study estimates most popular Obamacare plan premiums will rise by 34%. 34%. That's if your premium's already $2,400 for a married couple in Arizona. Unbelievable. A second actress yesterday, in case you haven't heard, said former President George H.W. Bush touched her inappropriately while they posed for group photographs. Spokesman said Bush, 93, and confined to a wheelchair, has apologized and acknowledged patting women's rears in what he intended to be a good-natured manner, as he tried to put people at ease with a joke during photos. Actress Jordana Grolnick told Deadspin that Bush and his wife Barbara posed with actors backstage at a main theater last year. He reached his hand right around my behind, and as we smiled for a photo, he asked the group, "Do you want to know who my favorite magician is?" As I felt his hand dig into my flesh, he said, "David Copperfield." I didn't make that up, I swear. It's the news. All right. Astros tie the World Series at 1-1 with 11th inning win over the Dodgers. We don't normally do sports, but hey. And someone mentioned yesterday in the chat room that Fats Domino had passed at 89. Legendary New Orleans rhythm and blues singer Fats Domino has died in Louisiana at 89. Domino was known for his boogie-woogie piano and smooth voice in such massive early rock and roll era hits as Blueberry Hill, Ain't It a Shame, Blue Monday, and Walkin' in New Orleans. He was one of the biggest recording stars of the 1950s and 60s, selling 65 million singles with 23 gold records. That's impressive. His commercial success in the early rock heyday was second only to that of Elvis Presley. He told Jet magazine in 1957 that he got praise for being a rock and roll pioneer, but Domino was among those who deserved more credit. Let's face it, Presley said. Oh, that was a Presley comment. Elvis Presley was interviewed in Jet magazine. Interesting. Let's face it, Presley said. I can't sing it like Fats Domino can. I know that. Well, that's pretty humble old Elvis, don't you think? In other late breaking news, Twitter slightly beat their Q3 earnings. They grew daily users by 14% and added 4 million more monthly users during the quarter. Microsoft has stopped manufacturing Kinect, the depth and motion camera system it originally launched in 2010. The device sold about 35 million units over its lifespan. The company will keep supporting developers who use it. My kids have it. It's like a very crude version of augmented reality, I suppose. You play a game, there's a camera watching you on top of the monitor or TV, and you jump, and the screen jumps because the camera sees you jump. Yeah, guess you had to be there. Amazon has launched a new security camera system called Amazon. It's part of a $250 bundle that includes a smart door lock which can recognize and open the door to couriers. More and more we're hearing about companies that are going to allow strangers into their house, but here you've got a camera on the guy. Walmart's going to do it. They're going to stock your fridge. Amazon's going to start walking right into your house, putting stuff away. Nintendo has announced a new game in its popular Animal Crossing franchise. The new title won't be developed for Nintendo hardware, however, but for iOS and Android. Roku, which is a little hockey puck that sits next to your TV and does far more than the Apple TV. Roku may start streaming on devices that don't run its proprietary operating system. It's not clear yet, but the service may require the use of mobile devices to work. Well, our Roku runs off of our Wi-Fi, so it makes it a mobile device, I guess. Bloomberg report claimed Apple had compromised on the quality of the iPhone X's Face ID to speed up its troublesome production. Apple, of course, claimed the allegations were completely false. Tech evangelist Robert Scoble apparently refused his lawyer's advice and denied any of the allegations against him. He said he couldn't have harassed a number of the women who accused him because he wasn't their employer. Google is giving developers early access to a new Android preview still based on Oreo. The version 8.1 can also be downloaded by anyone on the Android beta program and will be released in full in December. Apple expanding its television-related operations. It hired Jay Hunt, former chief creative officer at Channel 4, who will play a key role in its international creative development team. Jay Hunt, by the way, is a lady, and she'll join the company in January. And Tesla is reportedly firing Solar City employees across the country. The firings are part of a spat of company-wide terminations that Tesla said were related to annual performance reviews. How about not making any money and you can't afford to pay them? I mean, that's what I heard. I guess the really big news that keeps pushing this market higher is it looks like there might actually be tax reform. The House passed the Senate's budget resolution on Thursday by a vote of 216 to 212. In the last procedural step before the GOP can move to fast-track reform legislation that is expected to be unveiled next week. Every single Democrat voted against the bill, and 20 Republicans. Well, I don't like this. Republican leaders succeeded with the vote despite some last-minute hand-wringing, since the Republican tax reform framework proposes the elimination of the state and local tax deduction. That's reform. The deduction allows people to shave off what they pay in state and local taxes from their federal tax bill. But they're going to take that away? By eliminating this deduction, Republicans would offset a significant amount of their planned tax cut, saving $1.3 trillion over 10 years. However, Republicans from high state taxes like California, New York, and Massachusetts, where many people take the deduction, expressed last-minute concerns about the elimination of the deduction. That's not good. Insurance going up, and your deduction's going away. And the market's climbing? Oh, see, the S&P just found out. Not so happy now, is it? Okay, John, if you're coming today, you need to join us. You may be having the same problem you had yesterday. Let me check my message. I don't see a message. So
yeah, he had called me yesterday, but he hasn't called today. Yeah.
Oh, I meant to get. Oh, I asked earlier, but you had stepped away. Recap of the recap.
Recap of the recap. Today it took 1 trade and 1 minute to get to $100 per contract.
Man, it's 2 days in a row of the way it should be.
Yes. Yes.
I'm telling you guys, volatility is good stuff, man. Now the S&P, that doesn't look so incredibly volatile there. Just kind of sideways for a few hours. It's stuck in that zone. But if we go to the Dow, that paints a very pretty picture. From zone to zone, back up to the zone. Last night, the Concierge Trade Alert, consider being long, 23,325. We ran up 8 points right to the zone and turned down. So from zone to zone, we've got 225 to 4. It's 175 points down and 175 points back up. And it looks like it might want to try to come down again. If so, I would let it get, well, you do what you want to do. Because we have this buy signal right here, price could come down, just, you know, important prices, important areas, almost always tested. That could happen. So be cautious. Gold. Now gold, we did some, where'd gold go? We did some drawing on the gold chart the other day. Yeah, right. And we highlighted not only the zones, but where the support and resistance lay at the zones. Explanation of, now you see, here's what I'm talking about. We had said sell 1282 the other day. And what did price do right here? It came back. It got to 1282.60. 6 ticks above the trigger. And then bang. And it took us all the way down here, where we overshot the zone. Last night, we were looking to sell 1281. Okay. Now this first move down, I'm sorry, buy 1281. And this first move up took us to 82.30, and we didn't quite make the zone. Missed it by 2 ticks. We got to 83.80. Now the sell side last night for gold was sell 1274, and that would be right here, which is troublesome. Why? Well, if you're using a 30-minute chart, it's probably not an issue. But as you can see, we're headed to the zone 69.70. See how we triggered here, and then there's no way you had to stop way up there. Not on a 30-minute chart. a smaller time frame, you might have. But then we come down. Trigger. Put in a swing high. Now your stop only has to be right here. Right here. And we go from 74, and we just hit 70. That's $400 per contract available. We never get out at the swing high or swing low because we trail our stop. When you trail your stop, you're always going to leave a little something on the table. That's just the way that works. Okay, so there's gold. Soybeans. Soybeans are... You still there, Mike?
I am.
When do we get out of these November beans?
Hang on.
They have not been the kindest beans of all this year.
No, they have not been. They have not been good at all. They have been a total disappointment.
And they usually are. We didn't even trigger last night.
They usually are really good. Where is it? November soybeans. Hang on. Let me check.
All right. Crude, we said to consider buying 52.30. Ran up 16 points, hit the zone, and turned back down. We've spent a lot of time in that zone this week. How about how about the whole week? Sunday night Globex Open, we've been in that zone all week. Zone to zone, almost to the zone, back up to the zone, and then just kind of sideways. Now that's rejection. Remember, when you hit a weekly trading zone, you either get consolidation, like this. Rejection is the second most likely thing, like that. And then the hot knife through butter, where it just slices through as if it weren't even there. You were going to say?
I was just looking at the contract specs for the soybeans.
I mean, we're right up against November.
Yeah, we are. And January comes out. I'm not sure when. Let me just check the volume on the current compared to the January. Huh. Nothing's coming up. Minimize that. I'm bringing this up. Soybeans. Total volume right now, 75,000. And the January beans, it's not going to be much longer, Dwayne. There's almost equal volume, so we'll probably be getting out of them here in the next week or two.
Okay.
I would think.
But
Probably
not,
next
not
week.
tonight?
Not tonight. Nope. Probably next week, I would think. We'll probably swap over to the January beans.
Now, this 1480.81, guys, this was our lowest weekly trading zone for gold. And again, I said we missed it by, thanks for that, Mike. Just give me a heads up when I need to roll them.
Yeah, probably, I would say Sunday. Roll them on Sunday. Because right now it's 75,000 versus 70,000 from current to, from November to January.
So we missed this low, okay, thanks. We missed this lowest weekly zone by almost 1480.81. Okay, we're on the Russell now. From 1491. Yeah, see, that's over here, and that hasn't happened. And if you went long at 1503, yeah, you didn't have a happy ending. Okay. See if we can get some NASDAQ up here. Here we go. Okay, on the NASDAQ, last night's email said to consider buying 6068. So, if you ventured there, 60.68. That's pretty close. Anyhow, the point being, swing high was 76. You get 8 points, $20 a point. And then on the flip side, consider selling 60.56 if you get the opportunity. You did. And from 60.56, it ran down after a pretty good pullback, which, depending upon where your stop is, if you took the trade, this might have been a walkaway for you if you're trading a 30-minute chart. Low 60.35. So basically a 20-point move at $2, $20 per point. If you didn't walk away and you didn't get stopped out. Bonds on the 30-minute chart. This was good for a stop out right here. This actually had a little meat on the bone. It went from 151.13 up to 22. 9 points at 31.25 per tick. Ticks, not points. Okay, and then the downside on bonds has not been triggered at 150.11. So we covered the bonds, the gold. Now, see price being rejected from that zone. There's still 14 minutes left in the life of this candle. So it may not be a complete rejection. We'll have to wait and see. Be patient. This candle will give you valuable information when it's complete. In 13 minutes. Okay? So that was the gold. We did the bonds, we did the NQ, we did the Russell, we did the Dow. What a nice picture. Crude just stuck. No movement there. Means disappointing. And that's another gold chart. Guess I made two. And remember on gold, that 58.59 is the lowest. There's a zone here at 69.70. I'll go back to this one. 69.70. If that gives way, the next zone below that is 58.59. $58.59. Okay. So that would be, that'd be $1,000 per contract move if it were to happen. And gold just can't seem to stay above 1,300. And that's not good. Have the JFK documents been released? Let's ask the internet. Or maybe they'll give us a time. Now, I'm interested in taking a look. JFK assassination files released, live updates as archives become ready. Okay, I think I can tell you where to go read them, and I'll even give you the link. 3,100 classified documents. The documents are likely to both clear up and inflame conspiracy theories which have swirled for decades surrounding the assassination. You can read the documents on the National Archives site. If somebody puts oh, they already did. Okay. Send to all. There you go. That's where you can go read it. Yeah, Mike, we can take a look at gold, sure. Sure to be fodder for conspiracy theorists, the files all relate to Kennedy's assassination in '63. Following his murder, more than 30,000 government documents totaling millions of pages have been incrementally released to the public, although many of them have been redacted or only partially released. Much of the public stayed in the dark about the presence of these files until Oliver Stone's 1991 film JFK, in which a closing statement told the public about the secret documents. Moviegoers quickly turned into letter writers as concerned citizens demanding that Washington make the full set of files available. Congress accelerated the choice to declassify them, and then President George H.W. Bush signed the President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act a year later in 1992. President Donald Trump announced Saturday that he would not block the release of the files. The release date was determined by the 25-year-old Records Collection Act. The index, no one knows exactly what information is contained in the files. The only guide is an index that vaguely lists the contents. The index does, however, present eyebrow-raising file names that seem to implicate a connection between the Assassination Records Review Board and the CIA. One such batch of files is listed with the subject line CIA Correspondence Re-ARRB. Wow, that'll keep me up tonight. Okay. Well, moving on. Alright, let us find... Well, I guess we could just use this chart. Gold, daily chart. Whenever your candles do this, guys, just double left click in the price column and they come back to life. Had some really nice symmetry there. Here from this low to this high, 62% retracement. If we run the fibs the other way, from the high to the low, you see how the 238s overlap from here to here and here to here. So what you've got is this area. Oh boy. You guys ought to be real good at this after watching me do this all week. I need to make that part of my default template. Okay. So, you see how these 238s overlap here? That creates a really important area. Turn price down again, and so we're coming into this next important area, which starts over here and goes right through there. I would venture a guess that if we close below, get below 1250, 1240, 1245, then we're probably headed back to test the lows at 1210. There could be some support right here at 36.37, 35.36. And again, our lowest weekly zone for this week is just right here, 58.59. You want to see it back to last December? I don't know if I can go that far. I guess I can. Well, we can draw some really big fibs. Like that. Okay. And this is the 38 on the big one, which is kind of right where we're at right now. And then here's the 50. And then here's the 62. That could be very significant right there. Main price spiked it a little bit. It was resistance, but then it got through it. And price spiked it for support, but then support held, and then support held for this big run. It took us up to 1360, and now we're back right at the 38. Right at it. So there you go. You'd like me to draw a lower trend line? Okay. Where you want it to go? Want to go right there? Is that how you got yours drawn? So this area could be good support. That would be a 50% retracement of the entire move. From this low to this high, that's 50%. Right in here. Is that pretty much what you're looking at, Mike? Okay. Guys, it is worthy of noting anytime a market of this size and this much time, 10 months, makes a 50% retracement and hits an important trend line, you can almost be certain there's going to be some kind of a bounce. Will it be a bounce that goes on to put in new highs? Maybe. Will it be a mediocre bounce? Could be. But one thing you can count on is that buyers will commit funds to try to run it at the 50 because why? Because they know that every money manager in the world, every bank, every technical analyst is looking at what we're looking at. A 50% retracement from December lows up to the most recent high in September. There's John. Hey John, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Sorry I'm a bit late coming on.
Oh,
today.
that's no problem. Glad to have you with us.
Yeah, likewise. Been a bit of a hectic day. Might just start off by telling we had a very lucky streak yesterday. You know, sometimes markets turn up before the close, and you know, we were talking about the market rebounding off this low yesterday, which we called in the middle of the day. And the Dow, it's interesting because the previous day the Dow had got up to being up 200 and ended up on the day about 167. And then yesterday we were down 200. Remember I said if we went down to new lows, it'd probably be bad. And look, we had a very sharp sell-off. You know, it was a pretty scary sell-off at one point. You know, the Nasdaq really got rattled quite sharply, as did some of the other indices, including the Dow. I mean, we went from being up 200 to down 200. That's pretty unusual. Anyway, we decided that the 200 down was a pretty good place to cover and reverse, which we did for pretty much everything. And we sold the VIXs, as you know. I think we mentioned it yesterday. We sold the VIXs right on the high at 38.80, about 5 ticks off the high, and the UVXY just off the 20. And by the way, they're starting to head up again today, so we're back on a buy from 35. It was about 35.30 a short while ago. 35, and it's 35.90 now. But the luck we got, and using the same thing, I noticed that Twitter, you know, which has been a really poor performer recently. We got the last rally on it. I think I mentioned it on the show for, you know, maybe a couple of points on the upside, a couple of dollars, and sold it. And Twitter has a habit of rallying and then getting, you know, hammered down. And, you know, it just always seems to get hammered down. Anyway, it turned late yesterday afternoon, so just on a bit of a whim, I took a bit of a shot at it. And to my surprise, we opened up about $2 this morning. And right now we're up about $3.50 off that buy signal. So that's a pretty big deal for us, especially on Twitter. I think we're going to go through 21, possibly before the day's out, or even tomorrow, as long as we don't crash in the market. The likelihood of taking out 21 and a half is pretty high. And when we do that, we'll be hitting new 52-week highs on Twitter, which is a pretty big deal. And this is a big gap. Now, whether we'll get a chance, you know, a pullback to test that gap or not remains to be seen. But you know, Twitter hasn't been this high in a while, and now that it's starting to be profitable, and you know, thanks to Trump, it's probably doing extremely well, because you remember, Trump's at 41 million on the real Donald Trump now, and 21 million on the POTUS. That's about 62 million on Twitter. And at the beginning of the year, we were about 20, you know, maybe 20 when he started out. Between the two, certainly no more than 30. So he's doubled the number of, and then look, he's still adding a couple of 100,000 people a day. It's just unbelievable how it's happening. So Twitter is probably, you know, this is a big gap. It's probably very bullish. By the way, we're getting a little bit of a sell on Twitter right now here at 2060. So we might be heading for a bit of a correction. It's had a pretty good streak since it broke the 20, but it's a strong market. So, you know, I'm not putting the stop here just here. I'll probably move it down a bit, but it might come back. If it does, I think it's a pretty good buy right now, Twitter. Also, IBM started gapped up again today after you know, this huge gap that we had about a week ago, and it got up to 162.5. We actually put a sell in around 160 or so, and it got knocked down surprisingly sharply. It might have a bit more to go, but I think IBM is going to have another shot near towards the highs, and actually the market now is turning a little bit better after a bit of a not much of a shakeout, just a bit of a pullback. And I think the Dow, you look, the Dow is up 82 at the moment. It's been up about 100, I guess, but it feels to me like it's on track to go back up to 23,500 at least. And you know, remember, we're coming into the end of the month. There could be a lot of bullish news, especially if the employment number comes in pretty strong. I mean, you've got the bonds today down to 151, and the market is is holding up, and look at the financials. J.P. Morgan and all the financials are acting pretty well. Although American Express, it's acting phenomenal actually. It was at 93 yesterday. It's 95 right now. And when these stocks get up towards 100, they have a habit of going through 100. Remember we said that about XIV not so long ago, when it was in the 80s, and look at it today. Look at the XIV. You had an unbelievable pullback. Remember I said we might come down and test 100 again?
Yep.
And that's what we did. That's what we did yesterday. Actually got down to about 98, 97 actually, and we put a buyout at 98 on it. So it's an unbelievable rally, $10 rally since yesterday. And the way we're poised on this thing, it's almost forecasting a. Remember we said it might go to 120. This might be the buying, the shot that takes it there. So, and in general, the Netflix acting better now after this pullback. Facebook, same, had a bit of a pullback, and when you see these spikes, it probably means that Facebook's going to come out with better than expected earnings, probably going to gap higher. Maybe Amazon as well. Although Amazon's a little bit heavier than the rest of them. Goog is very close to all-time records. And Baba, Chinese, probably stabilizing here a little bit, starting to get a buy on Baba after being short for about $13 down from here. The IDU also looks like it's probably going to go higher again. We actually covered it yesterday. So that's kind of the state of play. The other thing is the oil is acting really bullish, and kind of looks like the gasoline is tremendously strong, and so is the heating oil. Heating oil is making new highs, which is amazing. That's new post-low highs, and I think the crude, once it takes out 52.50, it's almost going to be unrestrainable.
That's a weekly trading zone for us, 52.50/55, and it's tried all week long to break above it, and hasn't been able to do it.
I think it's going to.
We've been in this one zone all week long, and that's pretty unusual.
Yeah, when it does, it's going to go like a rocket.
Yeah.
I think it'll go to 55 very quickly. So
Frederick said to tell you thanks for the heads up on dry ships. It's doubled the past month, $2.50 to $5.
Oh, great! Well, I'm glad that somebody's making some money out of it, because it's a very tough stock to trade, that stock. And it's actually, look, it spiked. I kind of missed it yesterday. I put a rebuy on it around about 450 or somewhere like that, 450, 460, because we got out from the previous little spike, got back in, and it happened so fast. I missed it. It ran up to 550, and I really didn't. I missed it. The next thing you know, it's down to 5 again, and so we sold it at 5, and we actually sold it right on the open this morning. Sold it yesterday actually, and more this morning, and then we've got to buy above 5 on this thing right now. If it goes back over 5, I think it might. I don't think this is through going higher. Honestly, it's been acting really well, and as long as we kind of close a little bit firmer on the week, like let's see, look, I think if we close over 5, we're going to be okay for at least a retest of the 5, and it's probably shooting for that previous spike at 650. So it could run to 7, and if it gets to 7, it might go all the way to 10. So it's the shipping situation has definitely gotten a lot better, and maybe commandeering these ships to help out Puerto Rico might have actually been a little bit bullish for the whole shipping industry. Wow, look at Twitter, son of a gun.
Yeah, It's I read what was important about it earlier. I've got it right here. Why did it move? I just read it.
Oh, they earned 10. I think they earned 10 cents.
Twitter slightly beat Q3 earnings and grew daily users by 14%. It added 4 million more monthly users during the quarter.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they just struggle to monetize. Is the issue?
But they're starting to do it.
They're trying. They're trying for sure.
Yeah, and there's some kind of interesting ways they might be able to monetize better. The problem is, I think actually this, if they expand the tweets, the characters to 240, 250, whatever it's going to be.
I thought that was a done deal, but I guess it's not.
No, it's in a test right now. But I think expanding the thing to 280 is a great idea because it enables so much more, to be put into the thing. And secondly, you can multiply it. You can put a lot of links in to get the message out to different people. So I think that's I think it's a big deal. So I think
after 25 years, the JFK files are finally coming out today.
Oh wow, yeah. So
Trump tweeted about that yesterday. He has the right to hold back anything he wants, but he says he's going to release it all.
Yeah, well, it's about time, to be honest with you. I think it's, everybody should know what really happened.
Well, it's just, we talked about this earlier. It's odd that they chose a 25-year timeline. Michael and I surmised that perhaps it was a bunch of old guys that made the decision, and they go, okay, in 25 years, we'll all be gone, and we won't have to answer any questions.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't mind releasing the Kennedy stuff, but some of these other unclassified things, they started putting shows on CNN and talking about all their undercover stuff, how they do things. I think it's a stupid thing to do that, because you're kind of giving a game away to people, and a lot of pretty, how they surveil people and all that kind of thing. And how transactions are done. I mean, all this stuff is bad, and you shouldn't be. This is something you don't want to be boasting about. You never want to boast about anything you've got that's better than the enemy. That's totally dumb, in my view. And it's all bragging. I mean, what's there to brag about? They should be keeping quiet about that. It's like look at what happened with Bin Laden. As soon as he figured out they were able to track his satellite phones, he stopped using it. And how hard was it to find him after that?
Yeah, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Just turn it off, take the battery out, whatever it is you got to do.
Yeah.
The fact that this guy, if the story is true, he really moved from cave to cave while on dialysis. I mean, he really believed in his cause, I guess, or believed in himself, or believed in something.
Look, they should have taken him out at Bora Bora back in 2001 when remember the B-52s overhead. They should have used the mother of all bombs, and that would have ended it right there and then. And probably saved countless lives. And it's a tragedy because it's the same same blunder that George Bush the First did at the in the first Gulf War.
Did you hear the trouble he's in now?
Yeah, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, and it's this Harvey Weinstein, is raping some woman after these BAFTA awards in London, and his employees and all this other stuff, and then there's this banker or some doctor who's come out with a big story about her being harassed at work by some kind of lunatic who's on drugs and drinking and all this kind of thing. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. It's sad that the people who it's a big problem. People who it's. I remember. I think you and I talked about it. Remember the Enron days?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were paying them 10 million a year. When I see somebody pays you 10 million a year, it's hard. It's hard for you to not go out and party every day. You know.
Well, I do know somebody that worked there. I'm not sure whether he was part of the party crowd or not, but
I don't think he was.
he wasn't found of any wrongdoing at all.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the problem. They were paying about 100 traders 10 million a year. It's unbelievable. You know, and look where it got them.
Yeah. Well, nobody could figure out what they were doing. I mean, there was.
Yeah.
I remember articles back before it blew up, imploded, whatever you want to call it, and it says, "Who can tell me exactly what Enron does?" And like nobody in the room, even the smartest guy, was like, "It has something to do with trading energy futures or hedging you know, when you can't give a good elevator pitch, you got a problem with your business model."
Yeah, yeah. By the way, we talked about the cocoa a few times.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually looks like it's about to break out to almost new 6-month highs at least by the looks of it, and it could be the beginning of a bigger deal altogether. The coffee is also trying to bottom in here around the 123 area. I think if it can get above 124, 125, it might just be on its way. Yeah, the market. I think the market's sort of back in a bull mode here now. Especially, it's starting to pick up here this afternoon.
Yeah, the movement. You know, this movement on the S&P yesterday was awesome. Today, it's just stuck on this weekly zone 60, 61. It oscillates above it and below it and above it and below it and above it and below it until it breaks away by at least 2 points and closes 2 points away. It's going to stay stuck there.
Yeah, yeah. But you can see how it's probably going to break out to those higher weekly.
I think it'll go up to the 69.70. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's probably got, now that it's gotten over that 2500 area, 2550 area and tested it, and is back above it, it's probably setting its sights on 2600. And that sort of translates to the Dow, which is back on a on a developing buy here. Both of them are actually looking pretty good now, and look, the mid cap is leading the way higher again, which is a really good sign. So I think that. The other thing I forgot to mention today is that we actually had buy stops on the dusts. You know, for most of this rally. It was a very difficult rally. It's been kind of choppy, but they kind of broke out today. So the dusts are very strong. The J dust is up about $2.5, $3. The dust is up about $1. That's not very good news for gold, but gold seems to be reluctant to give up too much here. And it feels to me like if the gold goes down to about 1265, somewhere like that, and the silver doesn't break much more, we might get a positive divergent buy signal. In other words, where the gold makes a lower low and the silver doesn't, and if we hold there and try and reverse upwards, that could be a good thing. By the way, it looks like the crude's about to break our 52.5.
Oh,
it's getting
is
pretty
it?
close. Yeah.
Well, it's about time. Yeah, it's trying, but like I say, we've had that zone there all week since Monday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern, and so it's tried to crack it a couple times. Hopefully this time it can do it.
Yeah, it really looks like it. It looks good on your chart there. Wow. As soon as it takes out that weekly resistance level, we could really, I mean, it kind of looks like it's going to go to 53 pretty quick.
This was the Sunday night Globex Open right there, and we've stayed inside this one zone the entire week.
Yeah.
It tried to escape there. It just consolidated.
Yeah.
And now it's trying again.
Yeah, those charts are great, Wayne, because it kind of gives you a really good insight into how the market's congesting or consolidating before these big moves. And remember what we said about 100 points ago on the S&P? Remember that? We're down in the 24.5 area, and we said it's probably going to go up 100 points. And that's just exactly what it's done.
Look at the Dow here. It consolidated at the zone for quite a few hours. Those are 30-minute candles. Yeah. Then it went right down to the zone below, consolidated, and went right back up and turned back down right at the zone. I mean, that's just beautiful. You can't ask for more than that.
Yeah,
it's about a 175-point move down and 175 back up on the Dow.
Yeah. And another thing that's fairly bullish for the market is that the VIXs, remember we said yesterday this spike could be very bullish for the market, and here we are sort of back down at the lows. We're popping a little bit now off the 35.5 on the VXX, but the fact that spike could mean we're going back down to test the lows on the VIXs, possibly. So that would probably be a lot of fuel. Well, it's the opposite of the XIVs, which we've already said is poised to maybe go back over 110 up to 113, possibly even to 120. So
gold went from this zone down to this zone where it consolidated as it should, and then it went right on down to the next zone. It's hanging out right there at 69.70, just above 70.
Yeah. Okie doke. Well,
Thank you, John.
Thanks for the invite.
Appreciate
all right, all the best.
So much. We'll talk with you tomorrow.
Okay. Much obliged.
Oh, thank you. So how many of you wish you could change? Good news is you can. Isaiah 64:8 says we are the clay and you are the potter. Ever watch a lump of clay being transformed into something beautiful? Now the clay can't change itself. The power to do that lies in the hands of the potter. Isaiah says we are the clay and you are the potter. We are all formed by your hand. That means you don't have to live the rest of your life with your phobias and hang-ups, because the good news is God can change you. But you got to let him. If you've been a worrier all your life, you don't have to worry for the rest of your life. If you were born in poverty or prejudice, you don't have to die that way. Where did you get the idea that you can't change? What's the source of comments such as, well, it's just my nature to worry, or I'll always be pessimistic, I'm just that way, or I came from a family of alcoholics and addicts, so I'll never be free? Would you make the same statement about your physical body? It's just my nature to have a broken leg. I can't do anything about it. Of course not. If your body malfunctions, you seek help. Shouldn't you do the same with your sinful appetites, sour attitudes, and selfish tirades? What the world sees as rubbish, God sees as treasure. Because God don't make no junk. And like the potter, he can take you, mold you, and make you into a vessel of honor. 2 Timothy 2:21. Now, here's where you, the clay, come in. You have to place your life in his hands. We sing from the hymnals, have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Thou art the potter, I am the clay. When you stop trying to change yourself and surrender to God, true and lasting change takes place. So our good word for the day is you can change. Isaiah 64:8, we are the clay, and you are the potter. That does it for today, Thursday, 26th day of October, 2017. Partners Workshop tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern sharp. We've been doing pretty good at starting on time. Hope you'll join us. If you're not a partner yet, you should have got an email this week if you're on the trial. If you didn't, call Michael, 949-423-6464, 949-42-EMINI, or you can email us support@cfrn.net. Partnership has its privileges. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone. Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.